Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be giving you an update on severe weather risk as it has significantly uptrended over the last short period of time that we've been talking about this since the last video. And it's just significantly uptrended in the short term. So we're going to talk about that. That's what I currently have pulled up. And yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with friends. Let's get right into it. So first, okay, satellite imagery, okay, visible satellite loop on satellite for this threat, and you can see centered right in the Arklatex, okay, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, right in the middle, okay. So technically, if it was in the center, it'd be further south, but that's kind of what I like to describe this region where we're getting severe weather, and Oklahoma for sure. Okay, this is very impressive. Okay, this is some very high cold cloud tops, which means very large hail, tornadoes, and damaging winds. Okay, all of the threats, especially when you get towards the base of it, is where you have more energy, and it's just very ideal conditions. I'll go over that in a bit. And then once you go further north and east, you also have convection up here. However, it tapers down further. So currently a moderate risk in this area. I'd say 4 out of 5. And then further north and east, you're dropping down more towards a 3 and 2. Still impactful though. So let's kind of look at that on surface analysis, like how the boundaries, different fronts are leading to this threat. Here's low pressure in north central Texas, stationary front draped over. And what this is doing is promoting warm temperatures, high dew points, and humidity, and it's giving a gulf feed of moisture, okay? So that's also providing CAPE, or also known as convective available potential energy, also known as instability. When you have instability, warm temperatures, high dew points and humidity, and clear skies, you get a severe weather threat, okay, where you get booming cumulonimbus and you get a big time thunderstorm threat. So, if we're kind of looking at that on Storm Prediction Center, here's your moderate risk. Now, it's very localized, okay? It's not even that widespread that I was kind of highlighting on satellite imagery, but it's really just in northeastern Texas and significantly drops off as you head further to the west. Tornado threat, though, not too big. Now, it is a 5% hatched, one on an intensity scale, so that does mean you're getting some EF1s, localized EF2s. However, not as impressive as the last couple days. Still a threat, though. That would be the least impactful as of right now, or least significant. Okay, I mean, tornadoes obviously are the most significant, but it's the least significant threat or where we have to worry about in today's threat. Wind, 30% hatched, so this is the second. This is indicative of some damaging winds. Okay, this can mean 75 miles per hour plus. Okay, especially in this area, portions of Texas, northern Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, southwestern Tennessee. Hail is the biggest threat. Okay, hatched risk overall 30%, expanding those same areas a little off from Mississippi and Tennessee, though. However, you also have a 45% in that same moderate risk. That's why we have that moderate risk up, and a 2 intensity hatched risk. This means big time hail, golf size, grapefruit size. As we go down, we can read the discussion, and here it says very large to giant hail, 2 to 4 plus inches. Swaths of severe damaging winds and a few tornadoes are all possible. So that's mainly what we're talking about here in this thread. It's the hail risk, okay, and not surprising for that area when it comes to severe weather. Day 2, tornado. So we also have a marginal risk as it kind of spreads east in fragments. There's actually 2% tornado risk, so we're gonna have to watch that. Portions of the Mid-Atlantic, some populated areas like DC, Baltimore, and the northern edges. Uh, and on to the south, we also have another threat. Wind and hail are also threats in these same areas with a nice little, small little, I don't know why I said that, nice, but a small little hatch risk in portions of south central Texas. Day 3 stays in similar area. The eastern threat subsides while we have a marginal remains in portions of southern Texas, more centered southwest and south central. This includes San Antonio, San Angelo, San Marcos, New Braunfels, and Del Rio, Texas. So we're gonna watch this threat as well. Now here I do want to go back and show day 1 just for those that don't know. Here's the cities that we can see. So Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, and Garland are the main areas in that moderate risk. And then Memphis, Shreveport, Little Rock, etc. are all in the enhanced risk. You can just see the cities here or towns. It helps a lot. So probably should have noted that earlier in the video. But just keep that in mind that we're getting some populated areas. You can see the population here. almost 6.5 million people in the moderate risk. So it's still a populated area, even if the square area is actually pretty small. Now, if we're gonna go towards the short term, but real quick, let's go to alerts and indices. Here you can see it divvied up. Tornado watches south of this line in the yellow. Severe thunderstorm watches north of the line in the red. Now, I have actually confused these before. I used to say, oh, tornado watch is actually in the red, and severe thunderstorm watch is in the yellow, but I was wrong. It's the opposite, so just keep that in mind now. I'll make sure to remember that. Some localized orange and red squares. Orange, severe thunderstorm warnings. Red are the tornado warnings. So it's an active threat that's already began and is only going to intensify through the evening and later afternoon hours. Outside of that, some red flag warnings and fire-related indices in portions of the northeast and southwest, and some frost advisories in these lighter blues, for freeze warnings and advisories in these indigos as you head a little further west into portions of the Rockies and higher elevations. Let's lastly end off with short-term outlook. Okay, what are we looking at? There's your severe weather threat. Okay, 6 p.m., 7, 8, 9. It's an overnight threat. Spreads east. Stays strong even northern Mississippi by the time we get to 12 a.m. Northern Mississippi, more like northern Alabama as we get to midnight. Even into Georgia as we get to the early hours. And he makes its way to the Carolinas, mainly South Carolina by morning. We try to get a little re-sparkage as we get through the day on Wednesday, as you can see right here, which is why we have the marginal. Same down here. Wouldn't be surprised maybe if we get a slight upgrade there. It looks a little more conducive. That heads out. 540 line drop south. Okay, this is where you get a little cooler air blast. Okay, we're gonna deal with some cold. It's gonna be chilly. Okay, it's gonna be chilly as we head into this weekend. At least really at nighttime and especially further north. Daytime, it'll still be chilly compared to average, but we're getting into early May by now, and chilly, or these 540 below average, is really not 30s and 20s. It's in daytime temperatures. It's more like 60s and 70s. Okay, so we're gonna watch that. We can just end off with temperatures real quick, just trying to show you how that looked like. You can clearly see the front right here. This is that boundary draped through. So if you watch it, you can see some warm days, and then you'll see the big push of cooler air as we kind of go through here. So watch, we can take one city for example. Let's take Cincinnati right here, 70 degrees on high temperature, and then when we get that cold blast, you get 50s. Okay, and even further north, you still get down to freezing in portions of the north, and you might even like for portions like Minnesota, your lows could get into the lower 20s, and you might not make it out the upper 30s, especially for like portions of UP and northeastern Minnesota. So it's definitely a cold blast, and we're gonna have to watch that. You can see it draping all the way down here, just some milder temperatures here, probably due to more sun rather than cloud stuff. So we're gonna watch that and let's localize microclimates. So that's all for today's video, mainly focusing on severe weather. I'm gonna keep you guys updated, and I'll see you guys in the next one on Thursday. Have a great rest of your day, and stay weather aware.